in the case of Your Maps, it's not necessarily accurate that I made Your Map, so it sounds a little cringy to me.
But don't you agree that you somehow had a helping hand in just making sure that he gets the recognition
I
that he
don't
needed?
think there's a single artist who exists right now without the help of anybody. Everybody had some sort of help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Me too. If you go back to some of the old music, there's a prominent gentleman. Before I'm a shout out star, I wanna popular. There's a man called Vayoka that we used to shout out in almost every song. He was very instrumental to our careers. Not so long ago, maybe a year or 2 years ago, there was another prominent gentleman called Wadeka Landanya, who was all over the industry. So there'll forever be people who be instrumental in people's careers. But I like to, like in Your Maps' case, I like to think of myself as a conduit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a pitira mo, ku pitira mo, as a pitira mo fe. But there are hundreds of people making amazing music. Why did I notice Your Maps? He had already done his homework. He was already like on the way. You know, that sort of thing. He was already kula babantu abakubati opportunity yaisa. Tapari, no preparation. They just mess up the opportunity or they don't utilize it. But there are people who are quite, they've done the groundwork. Opportunity in Africa, the magic happens. You know what I mean? And that was the case for Your Maps. Your Maps is not one of those artists who had to hold his hand to the promised land. No. He just needed a feature that was going to shine a bit of light on him.
Yeah.
Even that same song, that finally song, he went on to do way bigger songs than even that same finally song. So that tells you that it's not necessarily that my verse or me featuring on the song that made Your Maps. Your Maps existed, but all I did was shine a bit of light on him, and because that worked so perfectly, it made me realize that, you know what, if that could happen to that one artist, I guess if maybe I can feature on all these younger artists, ABCD, who knows, you might find another artist who's ready and they've done their work and all they need is just a bit of light.
All right. So, do you mean to say all this started because of Your Maps?
I think even before Your Maps, I was still featuring on different songs. Even just artists like Shefi or, you know, like artists from Alpha Entertainments. It's the same thing. Like the first time that a lot of people heard of Shefi, unfortunately, it's on a diss song, but it's on that XYZ diss song. You know what I mean? So I was already working with younger artists even before Your Maps, but Your Maps was sort of validation. Like, yo, it can actually happen. You know what I mean? Even before Your Maps, we're already working with Drifter, for example.
Yeah.
He was one of those artists that we featured on a bunch of his songs, just so we could shine a light on
On him.
what was already an amazing
Talent.
talent. Yeah.